Perfection for a game is like a cinematic masterpiece of an era. However, perfection for a game requires risk due to the fact that it needs to be made fresh and from scratch. On September 26th, 2017, a game called Fortnite Battle Royale was released. A player versus player mode with a whole new aspect that would change the gaming world forever. Within only the first month after its launch, Fortnite had almost 45 million players. So, why was this game so popular? And why is it so hated now? Why do people not play it like they used to? I remember downloading Fortnite Battle Royale on the day of its release. I got an advertisement on Save the World, which is a completely different game mode, and honestly, a completely different game than Fortnite Battle Royale. You had to pay, I believe, $40 for it. I clicked on the ad, but honestly, I really wasn't interested in Save the World. I was more interested in Battle Royale. See, Battle Royale was, alive a little bit before from PUBG and H1Z1. And I always watch streamers play H1Z1. I just didn't have the money to pay for it, nor a PC. So I decided, why not try a new Battle Royale genre? A Battle Royale genre that advertised the building aspect of the game, but also it was free. I opened up the game, and I didn't have high hopes at all. Just another knockoff Battle Royale game that was trying to copy PUBG or H1Z1 that no one really wanted to play. But I realized there was nothing to buy. Nothing at all. Not an item shop. This was day of release. There was nothing to buy. Except for Save the World. I started my first match, and honestly, it was amazing. The scenery, the sunset that fell during Season 0, everyone that played during that time remembers it. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. The map felt massive, especially for a Battle Royale. The cartoonish style, it was just amazing. Being on the battle bus as well, and seeing just something completely different, it was just so odd, but everyone seemed to enjoy it. I remember I dropped out the bus, landed Salty Springs for my very first game, and I forgot it was Battle Royale. I didn't know how to get guns. I looked up on my phone and Googled, I'm not even joking, how to get guns in Fortnite Battle Royale. I remember this very vividly. And I dropped my second game and I found the chest. A regular old chest just sitting in a house in Salty Springs. And the glow, the sound, the aura, it was just outstanding. Everything about the game just felt super fresh. Another thing as well is that the game was so silent. Anyone that played OG Fortnite remembers how silent the game was. So let's fast forward to Season 1 of Fortnite, which came out probably about a month later. This is when Fortnite started to pick up a lot in popularity. And this is also when they introduced the item shop and the season shop, which really set the framework of the whole game. Like, if you look back at the season shop and the item shop, it really just shows that they kind of stuck with that. Obviously, it's a lot different now if you look at the battle pass, but the item shop and season shop is really what made Fortnite. Like, especially with all the cosmetics that they've added, for sure this is what set the framework. Everyone started to play during this season. I remember a lot of my friends started playing it. I was telling my friends about it. I had a friend and his brother used to come to my house and we would just grind Season 1. And I remember I bought V-Bucks to buy something in the shop, and I decided to buy the Munitions Expert instead of Renegade Raider. So yeah, big L to me, but it's whatever. That was a very special time, and It added a lot of new aspects to the game. People started to really understand that Epic Games and the developers really cared about their game. And this was only the beginning for Fortnite. What was about to come next would completely change the game and the gaming industry forever. Now, I remember waking up one morning, going downstairs, it was Christmas break, and I grabbed a cup of hot cocoa. I lived on a large acreage ranch, and I looked out, saw the snow, went upstairs, and saw Fortnite had updated automatically on my PS4. So, what I decided to do was hop on, and oh my gosh, this was amazing. Right as you opened up the game, waiting in the loading screen, you could tell there was new content. There was the zombies from Save the World with the characters on the side, one of them shooting with the snowball launcher, and just the snow and the house in the back and the mountain. It just looked fresh and it felt great. Once the game was fully loaded and I saw the lobby screen, I was shocked just to see how much content Fortnite had given us. I immediately opened the item shop and I saw the two new Christmas skins, which were the gingerbread girl and the guy gingerbread skin. And I saw a new tab called the Battle Pass instead of the Season Shop. So I decided to open it, and I thought that it would be the same thing as the Season Shop, but it was something completely different that no other game has done before. It was a new sort of pack that you could buy, but it was only $10, and you got over 75 cosmetics. And they weren't like just little dumb things that wouldn't. No, they were full-on skins. They were pickaxes. They were now emotes. And this was just something that no other game has thought of, and that was just so fresh that Fortnite had done. I remember loading up my first solo game, and everything had been updated. There was new lights on the bushes, there was Christmas trees, there was the snowball launcher, and everyone started to kind of figure out, wow, these developers actually cared. And this is something that really sets the ground point of OG Fortnite, that the developers really didn't care about money. It wasn't a big corporate brand like it is now that is partnered with Disney and, you know, a lot of different artists. It was a game that had a sense and a style and a, you know, attraction that no other game could have built. This was also the time that streamers started to play the game, and this is what started kind of the hype of Fortnite. I remember I watched Ninja's Hyper a lot, along with CD and the Third Dakotas, which a lot of you may have watched as well. But this is really when Fortnite started to rise, was because of these streamers as well that were promoting, you know, the Battle Pass and just showing everyone how much these developers actually cared about their game. This was also the time that a lot of new players were introduced, and there wasn't really a competitive energy to it. Yeah, everyone was trying to win, but a lot of people were just trying to get on with their friends and chill. And a lot of players were fairly new as well. They just, you know, wanted a breath of fresh air from Call of Duty or, you know, Minecraft. It was just something completely different, especially with the building aspect. Yeah, you had to adapt to it, but that's what made the game fun, was playing with a new system that no other game had. Yeah, you had Minecraft with building, but it wasn't like this. It was something completely different that took everyone by storm. During this time as well, I remember I would post on my Snapchat all my wins. I know it's corny, but everyone did it at the time. But yeah, I remember going on my phone and taking a picture, and some of my buddies did as well, of their first like Fortnite wins. And if you had the umbrella, especially the snowflake one, you were a goat, you were a sweat, You would Mary Poppin. I remember everyone would call it Mary Poppinsing your way down. Uh, but yeah, it was cool. It was pretty awesome once you got your first snowflake glider, and the regular umbrella. When season 3 was being announced and everyone saw the timer on the battle pass go down, people were really excited for the new battle pass that was coming out because everyone knew that Fortnite would do it again. That's what created all the hype, was the battle pass, the skins, what you could grind for. It's just amazing that Fortnite added skins for you to grind for instead of, you know, like Call of Duty had camos. Fortnite, it was an actual skin that you could wear. Like, it was just something completely different. Especially, I think the third person aspect definitely helped out Fortnite a lot. I think if Fortnite was first person, it definitely wouldn't be the game it is today, because you can't really see them. They would care more about weapon camos, but obviously the third person aspect, like, you care a lot more about skins. Yes, H1Z1 had this. It was more like helmets and your guns, but it wasn't really your actual character that people cared about. It was just, you know, the helmets. This was also when cross-platform was introduced to the game, and honestly it made some pretty funny clips.
Dude, do you know how to build at all?
Nope.
Press Q, just for a
Clean it,
second.
clean
Just for a
it.
second.
What
Don't do
the
anything.
fuck is Q?
Okay,
I have a
clean it,
PS4 controller.
This is also the time that weekly updates were coming out as well. We would see a new item every single week, and this was just great to see in the game because there was a reason to actually come back. Like, let's say you grind out the battle pass, you would come back every week. You'd probably get bored within that week of the new update, but next week there's a brand new update. You would get brand new content. So this is another thing that Fortnite did. They kept their players attached instead of keeping them, you know, pretty distant with content that they, you know, wouldn't really update well. But yeah, fast forward to season 4. This had so much hype around it. I remember this when streamers started blowing up. This when Ninja was popping on Twitch. Like, if you went on Twitch, you were only watching Ninja. There was also, I mean, the coldest was playing still. There was just so much content. Everyone at school had it. You know, still posting those Snapchat victories. Everyone was. But yeah, man, season 4 was amazing. The biggest thing in season 4, though, was definitely the live event. Our very, very first live event that came out. And that was the rocket launch. The first collab, which was Thanos. Thanos definitely set the ground point for all the collabs. I remember, you know, you'd load in and you would try and get the Thanos gauntlet. And this was just new content that everyone kind of enjoyed. And there was just new map changes in season 4. We had Dusty Divot as well. There was just so much changing, but yeah, it was the same game. It felt fresh every time you opened up the game. It was just great. It was honestly, it's a masterpiece. Season 4 was. This was probably one of the best Fortnite seasons as well. But definitely the ground point was this live event with the rocket, because it created lore. And I know that sounds kind of corny, lore, for Fortnite, kids game. Yeah, I know. But yeah, this lore definitely did make the ground point for what Fortnite is today. Fast forward to 2019. A lot of people really didn't like Season 10, or the new mechs, or anything that they really added. Competitive started to come up, and a lot of people were enjoying it, but Fortnite didn't have that fresh aspect to it anymore. And it felt like more of, you know, a money grabber, because they wanted a lot of players in, and it felt like they didn't really care about the new content, and they didn't listen to the community. It was time for a fresh start, and Fortnite knew that. I think they knew that probably around Season 8, Season 9. The map was starting to get boring. Everyone had been playing it for almost 2 years, so they came up with something brand new. A brand new map, brand new meta, brand new everything. This was Fortnite Chapter 2. The day the world went silent. Chapter 10 left with a boom. There was a 0 point that everyone was sucked into. One of the biggest live events that people tune in for, because everyone knew that there would be something new for Fortnite. But there wasn't anything new. The Fortnite world sucked everyone into this black hole and shot everyone out. The whole map being sucked into this black hole. And it was silent. 3 days. Nothing. No new content. just a black screen whenever you'd open Fortnite. Something a game has never done before. And everyone was so confused. Why would they do this? You can't play the game, you can't do anything. But this created so much more hype. Everyone was so excited to see what was next. Would there be more Fortnite?
No more Fortnite!
Everyone thought that Fortnite was dead. All the 12 and 13-year-olds were going apeshit.
God, get it right.
Why was there no Fortnite?
Fucking God, bro.
Finally, the black hole went away. There was a new update for everyone to download, and it sucked you out of the black hole and transported you into a brand new map, brand new everything, which was Chapter 2, Season 1. It felt very bare bones. It felt like just how Season 1 was. Not the exact same, but with a twist. It felt very new, fresh. Time went on, and honestly, there wasn't any new updates. People were starting to get scared for the future of Fortnite.
China has identified the cause of the
mysterious new virus.
Coronavirus.
There are fears a rapidly spreading virus has reached Australia.
This is a rapidly emerging situation where there is not a cause for alarm.
Fortnite took advantage of this, and I'm shocked that people didn't expect this, since there was a global pandemic and Epic Games weren't at their offices, they were all stuck at home. But Epic Games added a lot of new content 2 months later. This new content introduced us to mythics, new POIs, a lot of new weapons, and just an overall fresh feeling to the game again. It didn't feel OG, but still felt fresh. Everyone was playing Fortnite. This was when Fortnite had a really peak player count. Everyone was either playing Fortnite or doing online school. And honestly, online school wasn't that hard. I remember I would just get on, throw my Zoom classes up on my laptop. That's whenever I got a PC. So I would just hop on my PC and just grind Fortnite. And I didn't even listen to what the teacher was lecturing about. Yeah, it was a great time. COVID was a time for all of us. I think all of us remember just how peak Fortnite was. There was a lot of fashion shows prior whenever there wasn't any new updates. That's kind of how the content was. Just the streamers were making the content, not really the developers. But yeah, it was new. It felt great. But after this, once COVID started to go away, the game fell. But why did the game fall so hard? Was it all the collaborations that they were doing? Was it COVID fading away? Was it because everyone was going back to work and school? Honestly, I don't believe that's it at all. I think the main 3 reasons that Fortnite fell so hard and hasn't had a peak since, except for OG Fortnite, but that's different. They brought back the original game. First, the storyline. It was too scrambled. Doesn't really make any sense at all. It was too long and it never had an ending, really. The hype is the second biggest thing. The hype really faded away. A lot of artists stopped playing. And honestly, Fortnite got really lucky in the beginning. Travis Scott, Drake, Juju, and Ninja, they honestly made prime Fortnite. The beginning of OG Fortnite, with all of them playing, they were the ones that created the hype and created the player base. First, I kind of want to start with Epic actually caring. I feel like that they didn't care as much about their player base, and they kind of drove away from the, you would get on, you didn't have to buy anything, to, they kind of shoved it in your face. Everything kind of felt like a money grab. There was a lot of collaborations because people knew, or Epic Games knew, that people would buy their content. People would buy, when Travis Scott came out, The Weeknd, he was in there for an eternity, it felt like. What else? Billie Eilish, Metallica, you name it. Anyone. I think they're adding Shaq soon. I don't even know. The last thing is innovation. The biggest thing is their innovation. The Battle Pass was something brand new. No one has ever thought of that. That's first. The game was free to play. No one had ever made a game and put that much effort into it that was free to play. Usually it would just be a shitty little knockoff, or it would be filled with ads. But no, Fortnite was completely free, just like any other paid game. And it was optional to purchase items. Also, building was a new innovation to Battle Royale. And Battle Royale was still fairly new. I mean, H1Z1 didn't really have long of a peak. The key takeaway from this, honestly, is the perfection. It wasn't perfect. Fortnite wasn't perfect at all. And no matter how much anyone disagrees with me, I will stand by my point that Fortnite was not perfect. We look back now and we think that it was, but in reality, it all just kind of came together. Fortnite really, really got lucky in the beginning. And yes, they worked hard on the game. Yes, they thought of very innovative ideas. And honestly, I believe there's going to be another peak game just like Fortnite. Maybe not as high of a peak, but definitely something similar. If someone comes up with an innovative idea and has hype and along with a storyline, then I truly believe that there will be another game with a peak like Fortnite.